Coffee and Convo, baby. Let's get it. Yo, shout out to everybody here in the building. I see my boy Chuck already rocking, man. Chief Rock One, Jacob Crispin. Shout out to everybody here, man. I appreciate you guys. I always say this, you guys can be anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider. You already know the rules, you guys. You step in somebody's crib, you wipe them feet, man. That means hit them thumbs up. Also, if you are not subscribe to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 20K this season, you guys. Make sure to help us out over here at DOX ENT. Complete the objective, man. Shout out to you guys. So much to talk about, so much to unpack. We're going to talk about, the Bleacher Report, ESPN. It's been all over the place. I don't even know where it really came from originally, but we're going to talk about the whole Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow trade talks. We're also going to talk about an interesting one that I thought about. I'm like, you know what, man? I've been seeing some little sneaky tweets as of late from a former Raider quarterback brother, which we all know who that is. So stay tuned for that. Real quick, man. Shout out to Mateo checking in from the 916. Sacramento. You already know what time it is, man. My hometown. Love it. We got literally brutalized last night. My Kings, we did not like the bean. We got cooked. Man. Toronto took care of business last night, but we'll bounce back. We will bounce back. Shout out to my dog, Mateo, man. Shout out to Philip, man. Thank God. Coffee and Convo. Docs, thank you. Shout out to my dog, Philip, man. I appreciate you for being here, man. Rose in the building. What's good, Docs? Is Aaron coming over here? Because, yes. Now, let me say this. I don't know if you guys seen, but today, the Jets, we'll talk about A-Rod real quick. The Jets just hired Nathaniel Hackett as their offensive coordinator. For those who don't know, he was just fired from the Denver Broncos in year one as the head coach. He did come over from Green Bay the previous season as Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, offensive coordinator. They had a lot of success together. I kept saying Aaron. That's funny. Ro got me right there with the Aaron. But Nathaniel Hackett and A-Rod, man, they had a phenomenal time together in Green Bay. Let's just say that, right? And the Jets just hired him as the offensive coordinator. And the Jets owner came out the other day publicly stating that they would love to give up whatever it takes to bring in Aaron Rodgers. So you put 2 and 2 together. I'm assuming that the Jets are going to go all in on Aaron Rodgers. They have a solid defense, a lot of nice weapons with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Brees out there at running back. So I don't know, but it looks as though if anything does happen, if Aaron Rodgers signs off on that, it looks like he may be a Jet, to be real, man. Because, you go over there, the system, you already know what it is. You got a nice dominant defense over there with the Jets. I think kind of everything is coming together for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets. If he's okay with the young talent, right? You're going from the Christian Watsons of the world, the young guys over there in Green Bay, to another set of wide receivers like Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson that are young. So I don't know if he wants to play that game again. I think personally he'd want a few vets. Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver in the game. You got Waller and all that other stuff. We don't have to go into that again, but we shall see. We definitely shall see, man. Shout out to Dinah. What up, Docs? Hope all is good. I am blessed as always, family. Thank you so much, Dinah. 200 people in the chat, man. Wipe them feet. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. X, I can definitely see that happening. Definitely see that happening. I think personally with the Dennis Allen connection, for those who don't know, he played under him in his rookie year. Dennis Allen was there when we drafted him. Actually, that was Dennis Allen and Reggie McKenzie. They have a defense already. They have a bunch of offensive weapons as well. Kamara, and even though Michael Thomas is always in and out of the lineup, they have him. They got some guys over there, man. Chris Olave. I can definitely see Carr going over there. But I want to talk to you guys about this, right? This is what the thumbnail was about. So I don't know if any of you guys have Twitter, but we know that, David Carr has been literally killing the Raiders publicly since the Derek Carr benching, right? Kind of went on Harvester podcast and kind of said a few, little slights at the Raiders. Actually, even took a slight at Tom Brady, which is crazy. I don't understand how someone like David Carr can even speak about Tom Brady. He went on his, NFL game day. I don't know whatever it is he works for. Talked about the Raiders then and there, said, DC was been there through it all and blah, blah, blah. He deserved better. So these past few days, you guys, this is what he's been tweeting. Okay. I want you guys, it could be coincidence, but with all the rumors coming out now about us potentially moving on from Hunter Renfrow or Darren Waller, I don't find it a coincidence that David Carr puts out daily at Hunter Renfrow appreciation post. This was January 24th. Well, guess what? The same day he puts up another GOAT GIF up on Twitter, right? And we know how this family plays, right? We know how this family plays. We know how they do it. They're petty. They like to do little goofy shit. I'm not speaking about Derek Carr. I'm speaking about his nephews and his brothers and all that, right? So with all this stuff coming out, do you guys think it's a possibility that we move on from Derek Carr and Hunter Renfrow is a part of that trade package? Who's to say? It'd have to be a trade, though. This is the thing, because if you release Derek Carr, Renfrow it doesn't matter. Now, if you trade him and Renfrow says, I want to go with my guy, in which, if that's the case, bye-bye, go. If you want to go with Derek Carr, go. Be my guest. Can you see a deal where maybe Derek Carr restructures his contract, takes a lesser deal, and if it's the Commanders, the Saints, whoever it is, brings in Renfrow with him as well, and they move on, and we get a bunch of draft capital. I mean, look, you get rid of Renfrow, you're getting a nice draft pick or two. DC, you're probably going to get a nice draft pick or two. So do you think that this is a possibility? Do you think this is a possibility? Because it's just weird that this dude is now tweeting out daily GOAT Hunter Renfrow shit, especially with all the trade talks going around. I know that Derek Carr and Hunter Renfrow are close on and off the field. We all know the year when Ruggs, did what he did. What I'm saying? We lost him, and, Renfrow stepped up. Zay had a pretty good season as well, but Renfrow stepped up, a lot of receptions. He was our number one target, our number one receiver that season, when Gruden, was canned and all that other shit. Can you see this? Can we see this? I can see it. I can definitely see it. I don't know. There's already a lot of rumors already circulating as well online. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Boston right now is definitely, all their beat writers and all of them they're out there trying to fish around for some stuff to bring in Hunter Renfrow to New England. I don't think that Carr goes there. They have Mac Jones. They just drafted Bailey Zappi. I don't think it make any sense for them to go get Derek Carr, me personally. And I think that Bill Belichick loves Josh McDaniels and kind of values what he brings to the table. I don't think that he would follow suit and go grab Derek Carr. I think he would stay away from that. But this is something that we may have to monitor here, you guys. We may have to monitor it, because if this is nothing, I can't stand that David Carr continues to pick at Raider Nation, man. But I can definitely see something behind the scenes. If we do decide on moving on from Renfrow, I think this regime is in love with Darren Waller. I don't see Darren Waller going anywhere. But if Renfrow is a situation where we move on from him, I can definitely see this as a package deal. I definitely can. It have to be a team that has some money, though. I mean, New Orleans, they're like 50 mil over the cap or some shit, but they magically get under every year, right? They make it happen every year. Maybe the Jets. Maybe they go bring them in as well. Put him in the slot. I don't know. I don't know. You know, Elijah Moore has kind of lost some steam out there with the Jets, you know what I mean, in year 2. You know, I don't know, but Garrett Wilson there, he's the number 1 receiver now. Maybe they can pull something out. I don't know. But that is definitely something to monitor here, you guys. With all the trade talk surrounding Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller, DC moving on, I can definitely see some type of package deal where we get a bunch of draft capital from some desperate team crazy enough to take on both those contracts. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to the Raider. I like Renfrow, but he's a slot receiver. Slot receivers are super replaceable. This is facts, bro. And I love Renfrow. Look, I love Hunter Renfrow. To me, he is top 3, top 4 slot guys in the league. But the thing is this, man, you know, he's a small dude, man. Me and Waster were just talking about this on the phone. Small dude. It just takes one hit to put this guy out for good. You know what I mean? And we have a lot invested in him. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. This is I'm going to keep my eye on this situation, even though I do believe, you know, if you want to bring in a veteran quarterback like a Brady or Aaron Rodgers or something like that, to, you know, to that effect, you can't get rid of these kind of guys. You have to keep Renfrow. You have to keep Waller. You have to keep, you know, all the big name guys as selling points to bring in a Brady or to bring in an Aaron Rodgers that says we're going all in with you. Right. So, yeah, man, let me see. Brian, facts, bro. For those who don't know, we just went out and signed Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota. Dude was a monster in college, you guys. If you guys get a chance to go back and look at Tyler Johnson's film coming out of Minnesota, dude was a boss, bro. Played in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. I believe he put up like a little over 500 yards. And he didn't play a lot, you know what I mean? But he's young. Isn't he like 24, 25 years old, somewhere around that range? We just brought him in. So that's a sneaky kind of pickup. Sneaky pickup. We all know that we're going to be in a hunt for Tom Brady. Went out and grabbed one of his old weapons, Tyler Johnson. I think this is kind of a sneaky move. If we can, Tyler Johnson kind of reminds me, and not all the way at that point, right? I think he's 6'2", somewhere around that range. He kind of reminds me of Zay Jones coming out of college. Zay Jones pretty much, I think, owned every record at like Eastern Carolina, somewhere like that. Went to Buffalo, had an okay rookie year, and kind of had a few years where he kind of fell off. And then now he's hit his stride. You know, last year with us, he did really good. This year, he almost put up 1,000 yards. I think he had like 850, 60 yards in Jacksonville. This reminds me of like a sneaky kind of potential Zay Jones kind of pickup with Tyler Johnson. You know what I mean? Decorated career at Minnesota, came into the league as kind of you know what I mean? But this can be a sneaky grab. Shout out to Dazine. Trade Carr, Renfrow, and a 4 for Rodgers. They won't do that. 209. Green Bay would definitely want a first-round pick. Point blank, period. Even if you give them Carr and Renfrow, you're gonna have to give them something else. They're asking prices at least 2 firsts. So I don't know. But would I do that? Definitely. Right now. Take all of them. Would definitely do that. Let me see. Shout out to X. Tank Dale, Houston. Amazing. Cheap wide receiver. And he will be available, X, in the later rounds. Definitely another guy to keep an eye on. And my boy Charlie as well, out of Purdue. Another sneaky slot guy that you can move around, you know, in with this team. You know what I mean? Like, bro, that's a sneaky name right there. Tank Dale. I like that, X. I definitely do. X, I got to get you on the show this week, bro. Let me know when you're available. I got to get my brother X on. This is one of my favorite college football minds, man. My brother X, man. Love you, bro. You already know. I got to bring him on and talk that shit. But yeah, keep an eye on Tank. Keep an eye on Charlie. 2 slot guys that you can get on rookie deals if we do move on from Renfrow. Shout out to Max. Morning, Docs. I've been doing more of those mock drafts. One I did yesterday had Bryce Young at number 7. I don't see that in any world, Max, because Houston took Stroud and Indy took Levis. Yeah, I don't see that. I think if Bryce is available in those top 5 picks still, someone's going to trade up and get him. Someone to trade up and get him. I'm not sold still that Seattle was going to pay Geno Smith. He had really one really good year of production, and that was this last season, right? Where I think he threw for like 4,600 yards or some shit. But I don't think they're sold on him. I know the GM just came out and said that they're working on bringing him back. I think Seattle learned from Russell Wilson how cap strapped you can be by extending a quarterback. You know what I mean? Seattle won their Super Bowl, almost 2 of them, with Russell Wilson on a rookie contract. Geno came in for the F, pretty much for the F. I mean, it was cheap as hell this season, you know what I mean? And they had a above average season. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Seattle was sold on Geno Smith. I don't care what anyone says. I do not think maybe they do go and get a Jalen Carter, or maybe they do go get a Will Anderson out of Alabama. I still don't believe. I think they learned their lesson. I think Geno's going to try and get the bag, and somebody may pay him. I don't think Seattle does. So that's another team to keep an eye on in those top 5 picks that could potentially take a quarterback. Bryce Young, Will Levis, AR-15, Anthony Richardson can be a sneaky top 5 pick as well. I think there's going to be a run on quarterbacks. And potentially, though, Max, somebody can trade up and give up the farm, man, for one of those guys. You know what I mean? Shout out to my dog, Max, though. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Old School. Since we're turning into the Pats out west, when do we trade the pirate logo for a minute, man? Come on, Old School. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. We're not changing anything. If anything, we're changing our mindset. Old School. And by your name, I'm assuming that you're an Old School fan, right? You've been around for many moons when we were winning games, right? I'm assuming you're 1961. So I'm assuming you were there for pretty much all the championships, right? At the end of the day, in the past 38 years, we have not won a championship. So if we want to keep this whole mindset of the Raiders that we've had these past 38 years, we're not going to win anything. So if we are going to turn into the Patriots West, I'm cool with that, because at the end of the day, what we've been doing these past 38 years has not been getting the job done. It's not. I don't know why anybody, and a lot of you guys are happy just going to the playoffs twice in 9 years. That is terrible, 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 terrible. So I'm going to say this. You know, the thing is changing the culture, right? That's what this article stated. I read actually on Bleacher Report, the Las Vegas Raiders already intend to move on from longtime quarterback Derek Carr soon, but they could have more changes coming this offseason. A few people around the league told ESPN's Jeremy Fowler that head coach Josh McDaniels and general manager Dave Ziegler will try to continue to aggressively tweak the roster, which could make 2 pass catchers expendable. McDaniels is big on culture fits and will want his own guys. So I'm saying that, right? I say that to say this. They're changing the culture around this team. If that is going to be the Patriots West, if that's what gets this job done for us to win, I'm signing up for it. It is what it is. That is the most winningest NFL team in forever. So we're not the Patriots. We are the Raiders. We will forever be the Raiders. And I think Josh McDaniels and David Ziegler understand the importance of how much it means to the NFL and the football world when the Raiders are relevant and good. And that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to turn this thing around and make it sustainable. Success that's sustainable. Year in and year out, you're fighting for playoff spots and potentially Super Bowls. At the end of the day, you guys, if that's Patriots West, fuck it, sign me up. But one thing that will never change, Old School, is this. That right there will never change. You can't take that away from us. Period, point blank, the end. I don't care what these guys do. I don't care if they hire every single coach from New England and bring in Tom Brady, Gronk, Julian Edelman. Shit, I don't give a fuck if they fucking brought Aaron Hernandez back from the dead, right? We are the Raiders. And this will never change. Shout out to you, though, Old School. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to John, man. I'm here for it, but losing Renfrow could be deadly for a slot. It can. But, John, where did we get him at? We got Renfrow in the 5th round. I believe the 5th round, right, out of Clemson. Let's be real. Nobody was talking about Hunter Renfrow coming out of college. Nobody was. That was a sneak. Even when we grabbed him, everybody was like, who is this baby-built white boy out of Clemson? Like nobody knew who the hell Hunter Renfrow was. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew except for Clemson fans or, teams that play them consistently in the SEC. Nobody knew. No, that's the SEC, but you know what I mean. But nobody knew who he was. You can get another guy like that to come in the later rounds and still perform for you. So, I'm not really worried about it. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about it. I am a Renfrow fan. I love Renfrow. I hope he remains a Raider forever. But at the end of the day, if there's a situation where they end up being a package deal and go somewhere else, and we get some draft capital for it, and we can bring in a guy on a rookie contract, this is the thing, y'all. Everybody that's still saying don't get rid of Renfrow, don't get rid of Waller, don't get rid of these guys are the same guys that were complaining last season and the season before and the season before about not having money to build a defense. Right? So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to keep Renfrow around and keep Waller around, keep both of them around, or get rid of one of them and build that defense? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Because you can go all in on defense this season, even in free agency. But at some point, they're going to have to get paid. They're going to have to get paid. You know what I mean? So sustainable success, you have to win the draft. In the NFL, you have to win the draft. And if you can go out and bring in a guy that can give you Hunter Renfrow production in the later rounds, I'm cool with it. As long as you have a quarterback that can get the job done and a defense that can get the job done. Why does it matter if Renfrow's not here? Yeah, we're Raider fans. We love the guys that play for the Shield. At the end of the day, if you can get a guy that somewhat brings the same productivity or even a little less or even more in the middle to later rounds, why not do it? Shout out to Pace, man, my dog. Is it really smart to trade high picks along with players for Rodgers who literally might retire after each season at this point? Pace, you're right, bro. You're right. This is a guy that can come in and say, wow, I got Devontae, I got all these guys, and we still shit the bed. I'm out of here after year one. And then you lost 2 first-round picks for what? For nothing. So I agree with you, Pace. I am not a guy that wants to go out and get Aaron Rodgers. If it's going to cost you 2 firsts, there's no fucking way in the hell. And to take on that contract, I just don't want to do it. Me, I don't want to do that. I don't want to hear the same excuse that everybody's been using for the past 9, 10 seasons, even longer than that. Defense. This year, you got rid of Derek Carr, which his contract was a big part of it. The reason why you moved on from him, right? Now you can go build your defense. So why give up draft capital when some of those guys will still be there when you're drafted? The Joey Porters of the world, you know what I'm saying? The Cam Smiths, you know what I mean? There's no reason the Christian Gonzalez's and Emmanuel Forbes, the corners, potentially Jalen Carter if he drops down the board. You know what I mean? Will Anderson may be there. Who knows? But either way, you have to build the defense up. And it makes no sense to get rid of 2 firsts in order to bring in a 39-year-old quarterback that probably can retire every other offseason. I agree with you. Man. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up. Chuck, Waller was rested purposely. I agree. I definitely agree with you. I think it was a deliberate plan to sit Waller, get him right. I think the same thing with Hunter Renfrow. We didn't even hear about Hunter Renfrow's injury, you guys. Was it an oblique? An oblique, I believe. We didn't hear about it until he was placed on the IR. I don't find that a coincidence. We did not. Who did anybody hear about Hunter Renfrow's injury until he was placed on IR? There was nothing talked about. Nothing at all. Deliberate, Chuck. Deliberate plan, bro. Facts. Let me see. Shout out to Keeping It Real. Who Dat Sports Podcast. My guy down there in New Orleans. Salute to my dog. Docs, do you feel Richardson? How do you feel about Richardson? Is a first-round talent. I think he should have returned to school. Reminds me of Liberty QB. Okay. Got hyped up, was drafted too high, and now he got benched. So for those who don't know who he's talking about, he's talking about Malik Willis. I'll say this. I think that Richardson has more talent. I think his measurables. Look, man, Anthony Richardson can be the best quarterback in this draft, or he could be a guy that people forget about. It's a boom or bust product. Right? You either get the best quarterback in this draft or you get a guy that just didn't pan out. But I'll tell you this, the guy has an arm. He has all the measurables in the world. He's mobile. He definitely fits today's mold in the NFL, but he is a boom or bust product. And that's what's scary about Anthony Richardson, because you have to take him in the first round if you're going to take him. So it's a little spooky. Let me see. But either way, you bring him in, he's going to sit for a minute. He'll sit for a year or two. You know what I mean? So I'm cool with that. But the thing is, you don't want to use a first-round draft pick and then sit him for a year or two. Like, you need that talent now. We're going all in this upcoming season. You have Devontae Waller and all these guys in the prime of their career. You're not going to get a guy in the first round to sit for 2 years. It just doesn't make any sense. You need guys now that can help you win right now. Shout out to my dog, keeping it real. Chief Rock 1, let me tell you this. Tim Brown is my favorite player of all time. Ever. Any sport, doesn't matter what it is. Football, baseball, basketball. That is my favorite athlete of all time. I idolized him as a kid. Met him a few times, talked to him a few times. Good dude. I'm going to say this. I don't agree with anything that Tim Brown said in that. I'm going to be real with you. I don't agree with a lot of shit that Timmy says. So, they said that the Raiders, in an interview the other day, he said the Raiders shouldn't go out and go get Tom Brady. Let me tell you one thing. I think that Timmy definitely still is one of those guys that holds that Tuck rule thing very dearly to him. I do agree with him because I do think that he feels like in today's NFL, you got all these young quarterbacks, the Purdys of the world, the Hurts, the Burrows, Patrick Mahomes, 4 guys left, 4 teams left. And that's 4 of those guys that are all in there, all young guys. So I agree with what he's saying in terms of why bring in an older guy, right? But this is still the most winningest quarterback of all time. You know what I mean? 7 rings, you can't take that away. You know what I mean? It's very, very difficult to go get a quarterback in round 1 and win year 1. Burrow didn't win anything in year 1. Josh Allen didn't win anything in year 1. Shit, Patrick Mahomes hardly did he not even play in year 1? They had Alex Smith. I think it took for him to get injured for Patrick Mahomes to come in and do his Dougie, right? So these guys, like, you got Devontae Adams. You just traded a first and a second last season. You're not bringing in a young guy to win the job right now. You're bringing in a young guy to sit back, learn the system, and take over at some point. You're going all in right now. Yeah, Burrow was hurt year 1. Facts. But I'm just saying, even then, if you had Burrow, he wasn't ready yet. He wasn't ready yet. Most of these guys aren't ready yet coming out of the draft. Look, Trevor Lawrence, it took him forever to finally get his team to the playoffs. It took also to bring in a nice offensive mind like Doug Peterson as well. But it takes time. Shout out to Intel. My dog, man. My fucking brother, man. Shout out to Intel. Always showing love. I appreciate you, King. As always, man. My brother, man. With the 50-piece special. Shout out to Intel, the GOAT. Let me, I got a couple other supers real quick that I need to read. Once again, shout out to Intel, man, on the 50-piece, man. My dog. Shout out to Old School. Bad drafts and overpaying for over-the-hill free agents have been our downfall for 20 years. I agree. Enough with the Band-Aids. Draft a QB and live or die with him. We are not contending for the Super Bowl next year anyway. I disagree with you. Old School. If you draft defense, you go get some nice pieces in free agency on the defensive side of the ball, and you bring in a veteran quarterback that has been there and done that and knows this system to a T, I disagree with you, bro. I think that we're going all in. Josh McDaniels has to. His lifeline is on his coaching career, period, is on the line. If he loses his job with us, he'll never be a head coach ever again. So we are definitely going all out and trying to contend for a Super Bowl. A playoff win is a must next season. So I disagree with you on that, my brother. But I thank you on the donation. And I agree. Go get a young guy. But I'm not ready to live and die. You know what I mean? like with him at this point. Why? Do you understand, Old School? If you go get a young quarterback and he's not ready to go yet, how much that can affect his brain? How can it affect his mind? Let's be real. David Carr was heralded out of Fresno State. That first year with that paper, you know what I'm saying, that wet paper towel of an offensive line that they had in Houston affected the rest of his career forever. If you get mentally get off your game, we see what happened with Derek Carr when he broke his leg, right? It's easy, man. Like, you don't want to throw a guy out there to the wolves. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to live and die? That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. You draft a guy and you be patient with the guy. You allow him to groom him, get him ready, mature him, get him, you know what I'm saying? Put him out there in preseason, let him get a little feel, but you don't want to live and die with the rookie quarterback. That makes no sense. It doesn't. You're drafting a quarterback this year to start for you in 2 years. maybe one. Maybe one. If Brady gets the Super Bowl, say he came over here and we won a Super Bowl next year, he's out of here. He's retiring on top. Then you got a young guy that sat for a year and is ready to go. Doesn't make any sense. Shout out to the Raider, man, my dog. Let me kill the why would DC help us narrative. It's in DC. Thank you, the Raider. It's in DC's best interest to be traded to keep that 40 mil. Exactly. No team is giving him 40 mil off the streets. Not one of them. We already won with this contract off the books. Salute, the Raider. My dog. Appreciate you, King. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Houston, I agree. But, bro, he was thrusted into Lance goes down. Jimmy G goes down. That system, that defense, everything already is there for you. All Purdy has to do is not go out there and make any mistakes. That's it. Purdy can hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. He can hand the ball off to Debo. He can throw the ball to Kittle. Everything is set up for Purdy. But I agree with you, but look back at the history of rookie quarterbacks. That is an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't happen every year. And he's only played half the season. Hasn't he only played like 8-9 games this season? You know what I mean? So let's see if he can replicate that next year. And then I'll double back and say, you know what? Houston, you were right. But this is not an every year thing. It's not. Shout out to Hawk, my dog. Who says we don't ship Renfrow for Mac Jones straight up? I don't see that happening. Belichick would eat that trade up. Mac Jones excelled in Josh's offense, went like 10-7 as a rookie. Me personally, I would, but who knows with Josh? I don't think that Josh McDaniels likes Mac Jones. I could be wrong. I don't think he's a big fan of him. I don't. He had to protect him all season long last year. He short dink and dunk passes. He wanted to eliminate as many turnovers, and Mac Jones still threw a bunch of picks, right? He was one guy that went to the Pro Bowl last year that definitely did not deserve it at all. And in terms of success with him, that wasn't success. They were one and done in the playoffs. They got cooked by Buffalo, right? I don't think that Josh McDaniels likes Mac Jones at all. I don't think he's a big fan of him. I don't. So I see a lot of people talking about Mac Jones. I can see that happening if we're desperate. If we miss out on, if we put all our eggs in the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady basket and we miss out on them, I can definitely see Josh McDaniels getting desperate and saying, let me go get a quarterback that's familiar with me, that I can work some things around and maybe we can get to the playoffs. But I don't want that. No to Mac Jones. No, no, no. If anything, just bring back Stidham then at that point. Shout out to Raiders, man. Wipe them feet. Shout out to my dog. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Steve as well. Carr and Renfrow to the Jets for their first round. I'll do that right now. I would do that right now. I would do that. Take them both. First round pick. I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. Build that defense up and go get you a speedster slot guy that can get it done in the later rounds. And mind you guys, I'm telling y'all now, I would rather keep Renfrow. I do not want to get rid of Renfrow. But at the end of the day, there was a lot of talent on the back end of this draft, slot guys in this draft. I'm telling you. Let me see. JT Money, that sounds a little better to me. A first and a third, right? You give up a first for DC, you give a third for Renfrow. I would take that. 2 Pro Bowl guys. You get 2 Pro Bowlers for a first and a third. Who says no? I'm with that. I'm with going to get Devin Witherspoon. I'm with that as well out of Illinois. The more and more I look at his tape, the more and more I'm excited about him as a prospect. But I'm telling y'all now, my guy still is Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. That's my guy. I'm hoping that we go get a big play guy like him in this draft. Love Witherspoon, though. I know Nate Hobbs would love that, young. Bringing in another guy from Illinois, having an Illinois secondary. You move Hobbs back into the slot, Witherspoon on the outside. I'm with that. Shout out to the Raider once again. Also, for some weird reason, DC waives a trade. DC would only be hurting his own pockets, not ours. A trade is icing on the cake in a situation. We already won. DC would go play in Canada for 40 mil. Talk that shit, the Raider. Come on, man. Keep talking that shit, bro. Shout out to the Raider, man. My dog. My dog. Pace, if we get Brady, Can we get a defense and O-line good enough to win with him now? I think so. Or would it be like TB this season? TB would not sign up for that. We all know that Tom Brady is going to a situation that if he does continue to play, that's got to be perfect for him. He's not putting his legacy on the line to go to another shit show after this year that he had in Tampa Bay. He's not doing it. He's calling up Josh and saying, what is the plan? What is the plan? You're drafting all defense? Great. What are we going to have on the offensive side of the ball? Great. What's my O-line going to do? And who is out there that we can get that can protect me even more? Brady is very calculated, and he's going to make sure that everything works in his favor. He's not going to make a move until he knows what the hell is going on. That's why I think, you know what I mean, if we look, we're going to build the defense and offensive line anyway. We already had a top 15 offensive line this season, but why not get a top 10 one, right? If you're going to get Brady, a guy that's up there in age, 46 years old next season, you need to protect him by all means necessary. But I think Brady or whoever comes in knows that this draft is going to be defense heavy, defense, even in free agency. You know what I mean? Outside of bringing back some of our guys, which I'm going to do a show probably tonight about our own free agents, who to bring back and who to let walk. We'll do that tonight. But yeah, we'll talk about it. I'm going to say this. Brady won't come to the Raiders unless he knows we can win right now. Period. Shout out to my boy Chris. Yo, Docs, do we re-sign Hollins? Yes, definitely bring him back on the cheap. If anything, really good wide receiver for us this season, but an even better special teams guy. You bring him in and you have Hollins be like wide receiver 4. He should not be wide receiver 2 at all in this team. He needs to be wide receiver 4. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a really good year for us statistically. He had a real problem this year running routes, Chris, because Josh McDaniel's system is very intricate, right? You could tell that Hollins was just kind of all over the place. At this point, with Hollins, it was like this: 9 route or nothing. That's what it looked like, right? 9 route or nothing, you know, or a simple route. You know what I mean? Hollins looked a little lost out there, but he did play good. The touchdown in Tennessee to set us up for that missed 2-point conversion to get back into the game. There was some big plays from him this season, but you got to bring him back. Go sign Payne. I would love to bring in Payne. I just think he's going to be too much money. I don't think this regime is going to want to spend $20+ million on a defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it happening. I would rather go get a veteran like Hargraves out of Philly, another guy like that up there in age. You don't have to pay him as much as Deron Payne because he's younger. But there's going to be other options. Stay tuned, though, Chris. Stay tuned. Shout out to my dog, Chris. Shout out to Hawk, man. Meant to say I wouldn't. Dang, typo. But to be honest, I want Stidham, a rookie, or Brady, or A-Rod, and Bulldog lick on my gooch. No one is talking to you. What's going on with you and Bulldog in the chat? Let me go check out my dog, Bulldog, man. You stupid. He said, lick on my gooch. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Shout out to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. Shout out to .com. Yo, I hit you on IG. I'll be in Vegas for the Pro Bowl, trying to figure out the itinerary, what hotel are y'all at, etc. I will hit you up, .com, right after the show, my brother. I got you, King. I haven't seen it, but I will definitely hit you. We'll link up. Cigar and a beer, man. Cigar and a drink. Shout out to my boy .com, man. I'll be out there next Friday. Next Friday, I will be in Las Vegas for the Pro Bowl. We need speed on the outside and slot. It would make it harder to double take. This is facts. Facts, Houston. Facts plus tax. Let me see. Shout out to everybody here, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. Yeah, visual. Hollins was out there doing the gritty all year long, man. All year long, pinning them at the 1 yard line, pinning them in, in the 10, like inside the 10. Like Hollins is a definite great special teams guy and a leader in the locker room. So I have nothing against bringing him back, but it has to be for the cheap. And I don't want him playing as heavily as a role on the outside as he did this season. And Angela, I don't think we bring back Denzel Perryman. I don't think we do. The injuries are starting to pile up. That's a few years in a row where Denzel's gotten hurt, missed some games. I think that, his body is finally taking its toll. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't bring Denzel back unless it was very, very inexpensive. You know what I mean? And I still do think that he has some football left, but I think maybe another team overpays him because of the Pro Bowl year he had last year, right? So I don't know. We shall see. If he comes back for the cheap, I would love it. I know Denzel wants to be a Raider. I would bring him back, but I want to get young at the linebacker position. Morris, look, man, Chark, another guy. Another guy that is always injured. Fast, put him on the outside. I mean, shit. Anywhere. You can move him anywhere. He's just always hurt. He's just always hurt. You know what I mean? And I don't want to spend that kind of money, you know what I mean, on a guy like Chark that year in and year out can't consistently stay healthy. You know what I mean? So shout out to my brother Wasted in the building. Yerp. Shout out to my dog, man. Shout out to my brother Chuck, man. 571 in the building. Hit that like button, you guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Shout out to D's. Trade Renfrow. Signed Scotty Miller for cheap. Another Tampa Bay guy. And Jacoby Myers, a New England guy. I like that. Resign Hollins cheap, and you have a top 4 with more versatility and similar money. I'm not against that, D's. I actually like that take. Trade Renfrow, get whatever you can. Go get right on the defensive side of the ball with that draft. With that draft pick, sign Scotty Miller. I like that. Jacoby Myers and Scotty Miller has flashed. He's flashed a few times. You know what I mean? He has some game to him. He really was playing well for those guys in that Super Bowl year when they were dealing with injuries, and I think Chris Godwin was in and out of the lineup with concussions, I believe, right? And he played pretty well for them. I would definitely take a look at that. Jacoby Myers as well. He led New England last year in receiving yards, even with Nelson Aguilar out there. I don't know what he did this year too much. I know they really couldn't pass the ball. Their offense shit the bed this year. But I would definitely take a flyer on Jacoby Myers. And Josh McDaniels likes his game a lot. Yeah, Scotty Miller's fast as hell. This is facts. Facts, man. Yeah. Oh, Devin, I remember that game like it was yesterday, bro. Scotty torched us, cooked our boots. This is facts. Facts, man. Oh, no, Roper, we're not saying that Renfro's not better than Scotty Miller. No. We all agree with you, my brother. We're saying that he's at least he's an inexpensive option over Renfrow. He will cost less money. If you can get Renfrow's contract off the books in a package deal with Carr, you do it. You do it. We're talking about defense here, you guys. We're talking about defense, right? Look, in a perfect world, let me ask you guys this, because Elijah Moore is pissed with the Jets. Pissed. You know, his role diminished this year. Last year, he was a dog. Send Renfrow and Carr for a second in Elijah Moore. I do that right now. Derek Carr, Hunter Renfrow for Elijah Moore in a second. I do that right now. I might have to do a video on that right now. DC and Hunter Renfrow for a second and Elijah Moore. Why not? Shout out to Caleb. You think Panthers might be in for the trade talks for Carr now that Frank just got hired? He tried trading for him. I could see that. I could definitely see that. I could see that. But the Panthers got like 10 wide receivers right now. I mean quarterbacks. They got like 10 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? They drafted one. You know what I mean? They just got too many out. They got Darnold. They got like, what the hell are they doing over there with all those QBs? Yeah, X. I'm not going for Mims at all. I'd do it for Elijah Moore though. Definitely, Elijah Moore can be a number 1 receiver in the right system. That dude balled his rookie year. Let me see. But I can see the Panthers going in on DC. There's going to be a lot of teams making calls. It sounds as though they're already making calls. Drew, I'm with you on this, bro. I'm with you on this. I'm with you. If we could trade up to go get Jalen Carter, I'm for it. I am for it. But he'll probably go number 1, Drew, to the Chicago Bears. If they don't get Will Anderson at number 1 or they don't trade out, Carter may be off the board at 1. Yeah. Gabriel, this is what he tweeted out. Daily at Renfrow appreciation post. For those, posted a goat. Then he did it again right here. Boom. So, this family, man. You don't know what the hell is going on. Gabriel, you are not blocked, brother. I see you. So I can definitely see that as a combination if they move on. Yeah, facts. Can definitely see Carolina in on the sweepstakes. I don't want Matt Corral, D's. I'm cool. Love the dog in him. Love that he went back and played in that bowl game for him. You know what I mean? Which ended up hurting his draft stock because he got injured. I like Matt Corral, but I'm not trading for him. Scout just tweeted he expects Carr to go to the Panthers soon. It's probably because of the connection with Frank. That's probably why. Facts. Trade back is the best move for us. I'm hoping that we trade back to the middle of the first round, X. X, when you available, bro? When you available? Let me know in the comment section real quick. Let me know when you're available, or hit my phone. Text me, bro. Let me know when you're available. I want to talk to you about this offseason. Shout out to the 600 people in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button, man. Yeah, Michael Thomas is washed. Let me see. No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not afraid at all, Bill. He has to draft a quarterback anyway. You know what I mean? He has to draft a quarterback anyway. That's still not going to buy him 2 years. Still not going to buy him 2 years. The only way you buy 2 more years, Bill, is winning. Winning this season. That's it. Right now, you guys, Josh McDaniels is literally on a 1-year deal. Period. 1-year deal. Shout out to DeMarcus. Graphk, who is your Javon Holland pick this year in the draft on defense? The Raiders can draft. Shout out to Javon Holland, Oakland's own, my dog that I wanted to take in that draft, and I'm pissed. I got the proof too. I got a mock draft. I did a special video on Javon Holland, taking him in round 1. We ended up with Merrick in the second round. That's my guy. But I'm going to say this. It's my guy. DeMarcus, Emmanuel Forbes. That's my guy. Emmanuel Forbes this season, like your life depended on it. That's what I got. That is my Javon Holland this season, is Emmanuel Forbes, corner out of Mississippi State. That is my guy. Drew, I will definitely get Murph and Swaggy back on here soon, man. Those are my guys. Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of Jared Hall, man. I'm not. I'm not that big of a fan out of him. For those who don't know, the quarterback out of BYU, I'm not a big fan of him. I'm not a big fan of him at all. Brave, I love that draft right there. Jalen Carter and Emmanuel Forbes, those 2 guys back to back with Overshown in the third. That's crazy. To me, you already won a draft. You already won a draft with those guys. If we could somehow, some way get Jalen Carter, oh my God, him, Emmanuel Forbes, and Overshown back to back to back. Oh, dog. I like Tyke Smith. I like Jackson Kirtland out of Washington as well. Those are some names. I like that. I get you guys, and I have to say this, right? Some people say, oh, Emmanuel Forbes be getting torched. That man makes big plays. A lot of picks, a lot of pick sixes. He's a playmaker. If you bring in a guy like Emmanuel Forbes that can make plays and he gets burned here and there, look, you're going to get burned most of the time by Herbert and Patrick Mahomes anyways. But if you can get a playmaker that can make a big play here and there and give up a big play here and there, I'm cool with that. We have not had a corner that makes big plays in a long time. So, yes, if Emmanuel Forbes comes in and makes 10 big plays and gives up 3 big plays here and there, I'm cool with that. Because most of the time, Mahomes and Herbert are going to torch you anyway. Period. So at the end of the day, go get a guy that has been proven to be able to get to get turnovers and touchdowns out of Mississippi State. Because like I said before, most corners are going to get cooked by those QBs anyway. To me, it ain't rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Go get a guy that makes plays. That's it. We have not had a lot of guys on the defensive side of the ball that actually make plays. Feels like fucking Amik was the only dude, you know what I'm saying, outside of Max, you know what I'm saying, like that actually made some fucking plays this season on the defensive side of the ball. Well, Deron Harmon as well. I got to put Harmon out there too. I know we don't need offense, but trade for Hopkins and sign Paris Campbell with Waller. Who's stopping that? Shout out to Q. Love you, my brother. That'll never happen. Could you imagine this team paying for Hopkins and Devontae Adams? And if you do that, Waller's out of here. Renfrow's out of here. Both those guys are gone, right? You can't have both of those contracts. And then you have to think, can you still pay Josh Jacobs? D-Hop is going to want a contract extension. There's another big reason probably why Arizona's going to move on from him, because he's going to want another deal. He's seeing what all these receivers are getting now. That deal that he signed a few years back, that ain't shit. He's going to want another deal. And he's been dealing with injuries and shit like that too. So you're going to have to get rid of a few of those, Waller and Renfrow at that point is gone. You know what I'm saying? So look, that would never happen. Paris Campbell, I'm cool with bringing in Paris Campbell. I like that. That's a cool move. Still young. I like that move. But Hopkins, D-Hop would never happen, my brother. Let me see. Yeah, Ronnie. And see, I'm one of them people, right? I like Diggs. I'm not a huge fan, but because he's a Cowboy and I live in Dallas. But I'm not against him. Like I think, bro, if you have a corner that makes big plays and gives up big plays, I'm cool with that. I'd rather have a guy that makes huge plays and gives up big plays than a guy that is a good corner and sparingly gives up big plays. We need a guy that can get a turnover quick and fast. You got Mahomes, you got Wilson, you got Herbert in our division. You need a guy that can go out there and get you a pick if you're down by 6 and need 7 to win the game. You know what I mean? Like, we need a guy that can give the ball back to our quarterback and give us a chance to win at the end of these games. Simple and plain. We looked last year, there was no defenders out there that you could say, I know what he has, and he's capable of going out there making a big play to get us back in this game. So it is what it is. X, it's never going to happen. We'll never be able to trade for we'll never be able to be in position to get Caleb Williams. That's just never going to happen. I'm not against going to get Jesse Bates. Not at all. Just depending on how much he's going to cost. And think about this too, Dev. If he has a big game this weekend against Kansas City and then they go into the Super Bowl and they end up winning it, Jesse Bates his price is going to go up. His price is going to go up. He's still young, but his price is going to go up. And I don't want to spend that kind of money on a safety. I don't want to spend big time money on a safety. I don't. I'd rather go get one in the draft. Ryan, there's a few of them, but right now I see Jared Hall. Me personally, I don't want to go that route. I like Hooker, man. Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. I would rather go get him. I know he's coming off a torn ACL, but I am keeping an eye on him in those middle to later rounds. Simple and plain. Kev, see, now this is tough, right? So the second round pick, who you taking, Drew Sanders or fourth? I'll say this. This is easy for me because I know that one of them is going to be a first round pick. I think Drew Sanders will be off the board in the first round. And I think Emmanuel Forbes will fall to the second. So I'm going Forbes. But if they both fail to the second, that'd be tough, man. I'd probably go Drew Sanders because we need a linebacker. We haven't had a linebacker in forever, man. You know what I mean? So I'm going linebacker. I'll take Drew Sanders out of Arkansas. And he's an edge. He can get to the quarterback too. Wasn't he an edge rusher at Alabama? The guy's a linebacker, can play the edge. Like, go get Drew Sanders. Go get Drew Sanders. A linebacker that can cover and get to the quarterback. We haven't had one of those in forever. So I'd probably take Drew Sanders. But I'm still a huge fan of Emmanuel Forbes. But yeah. Coming up on an hour, you guys. I'm about to get out of here. We will be back tonight. I do want to do a breakdown of our own free agents, guys that we should bring in, guys that we should let walk. So we'll definitely talk about that. I'm going to reach out to my brother Waste to see if he wants to get together to do something a little bit later as well. Just wanted to talk about this, you guys. There was rumors circulating that the Raiders are looking to maybe unload Waller or Renfrow. And then David Carr comes out tweeting GOAT memes at Hunter Renfrow. Hunter and Derek are very close. I don't know if this guy was trying to insinuate that they're maybe going to be a package deal, move on. I don't know. But I just find it hilarious that he did that. So, and what's crazy, I can definitely see that. I could definitely see Carr saying, I'll take less money, another team, and bring me and Renfrow in. We'll take his contract, give me less money, bring one of my guys with me. I could definitely see that. So if it is true that we're trying to move on from Renfrow, I can definitely see them be a package deal. Definitely. With that being said, for those who didn't see it, go to David Carr's Twitter. He's sending love letters and shit to Hunter Renfrow and shit. So, there you have it. But with that being said, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. On the way out, wipe them feet, hit them thumbs up, and also hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys. I'm outro. One.